You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries, as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. I want to chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. First timer on Ron Siegel Radio, Kim Jarrard, RE/MAX. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Always something good to celebrate today. National Slam the Scam Day. I hate scammers. And one of the things I really appreciate is send me the scams that you're hearing about. That way I can share them on radio and, try and blow some of these scammers out of the water. And especially the problem is, in the most part, who do scammers target? I guess I have a vested interest in this now because I'm getting old. Right? Scammers seem to go after the seniors more often than anything else. I hate them. And being that I'm getting closer to that day, maybe I better start watching these a little bit more. Get over it, though. Today's world, get over it day. Don't get over the scammers, though. Send me them so I can report them. Having beaten anorexia, though, there's a couple of issues here that I like. National Meatball Day. I can go for meatballs. And, this one's a tough one. National Crab Meat Day. Because unless you go to specific and nicer restaurants, where are you getting crab meat anyway? I mean, most of the places, if they put out crab, it's that fake stuff. I like the good stuff, the real stuff. National Crab Meat Day is today. Might have to indulge in some crab meat. Let's take a look and see what the markets are doing today. Dow Jones Industrial Average is now down 38 points. Whoa, it just jumped 49 points down. S&P 500 is down. Okay, stop moving the screen on me. The S&P 500 is now down 604. The NASDAQ is down 10. Oil up 35 cents a barrel. What is the 10-year Treasury doing? Does it matter? It's 3.97 right now. The 10-year Treasury will be driving interest rates. We'll find more about that tomorrow when we get, they call it the BLS jobs report. I think it might, if they follow suit as to what they did in January, it's the BS jobs report, because we did identify very well, I think, where the BS came from in that jobs report when they added 3 million jobs so they get to the number that they wanted to have it at, or 2.5 million jobs. So we're going to see what happens. We did get that ADP report yesterday, but the jobs report tomorrow will be driving a lot of what goes on in the market. So I think we're going to probably see a little bit of quiet on the markets today. The big news is, this one just fascinates me, because I'm watching, I used to own a transportation company, and I'm watching what's going on in East Palestine. It's horrible. But now we see, Norfolk Southern had a train derailment, and Virginia, they had a train derailment. Well, here's the issue. If you look at the stats, there's about 4 to 5 train derailments every single day. Now, we don't get the train derailments like they had in East Palestine. That's where the problem is because it had so much toxic materials there. The bottom line there, is just like the government always does. Are they going to overreact on this one too? Now they want to put a process through Congress or a legislation in Congress to say you've got to tell every city when a train with toxic material is going through their city. Think about that. So it's going to be an email blast or a text message or a tweet or something along those lines to every single city along the rail. And every time they put anything toxic on there, what do they identify as toxic? I used to ship out when I was in the import-export business. I shipped butane lighters, cigarette lighters. Yes, I know we don't do too much in cigarette lighters now, but I'm old. They did it back then. So when you did cigarette lighters, you had to mark the bill of lading that it was flammable, hazardous. Do you think one case of cigarette lighters getting put on a train, now we're going to have to tell every city along the road or along the rail that what's going on? Does that make sense to anybody? So what's going to end up happening is going to be overkill. And they're going to get a message every single day, every hour that there's hazardous material coming across this train track. And do you think anybody's going to ever look at it once it gets overkill like that? So, when you're dealing with the government, beware. More often than not, the things that they're going to do are going to cause more problems than benefits. Amazing. We got the president's going to be giving out his budget again. Do you think, wait, president and budget, can you put those two words together? I don't think there's any way you can put president and it doesn't matter. Was it President Biden, President Trump, $6 trillion? President Obama, he doubled the national debt. But I'm sure that President Biden is going to give us his Biden BS. What is the Biden BS? Well, he cut the deficit. Now, he doesn't realize sometimes when he's speaking that he conflates deficit and debt. So in one of his recent speeches, he said he cut the debt by $1.7 trillion. Mr. President, the debt has been going up always. If you look at the national debt clock, you'll see that. What he really meant to say was he cut the deficit by 1.7. Now, he said 1.7 billion. I think he meant 1.7 trillion. But here's the issue. He didn't even do that. Right? That was just an expiration of COVID expenditures. So,
are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debt so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you can have a guaranteed program that can show you how to eliminate all of your debt
finally got
in 10
Powell
years or
to
less,
admit that his
all without
actions
having
right
to
now,
spend
if the
more
government
each month
is spending
than
money
you
the way
spend
they
right
are.
now.
So the
Yes,
government
that's correct.
handles fiscal
all without
policy.
spending
The
more
Federal
from your
Reserve
checkbook
handles
each month
monetary
than
policy.
you are today.
If the federal
Get your
government
free
keeps
analysis
spending
today
the way
to
they're
see if you
spending,
qualify. Visit
we're looking at about a
rsrnodebt.com.
10.6%
Log on today for your free
unemployment
analysis.
rate. If the Fed gets to their
rsrnodebt.com.
desired
No purchase
goal.
necessary. The free analysis takes
10.6%
only 2
unemployment
minutes.
rate. You think that's
rsrnodebt.com.
No.
Ron Siegel Radio
Now,
is your
that's what
home
Powell
and
has to
mortgage
do if he
connection.
wants to get
Go to
achieve his goals.
rsrnodebt.com.
Do you think the government's going to stop spending money?
rsrnodebt.com.
I doubt it. That's just.
Are you
it.
paying rent because you cannot
Okay,
afford to live in your
so the
dream
bottom
home?
line
Are you
here
paying rent
is
because you don't believe you
we're
have the down
heading that
payment funds to
direction.
purchase your own
But
home?
does it
At
matter
Siegel Lending
to
Team
you?
at
How is
ronismylender.com
that
has up
gonna
to
affect you?
$25,000
We're
to
gonna
help
talk about
qualified
that from
people
a real
purchase
estate
their own
standpoint.
home at amazing
Because
interest
many
rates.
of
Contact
you
the Siegel Lending Team
have a
today
lot of
at
equity in your
ronismylender.com.
homes. What are you
Again,
doing with that equity? Now, if you
ronismylender.com.
missed our
Licensed
broadcast
under
yesterday,
NMLS
shame on you. But I
217037.
did share with you, regardless
ronismylender.com.
of the interest rate environment, how you can retire on $18,000 a month, no IRA, no 401k, just using proper mortgage planning. I didn't even get into the idea of what you could do if you would take that, instead of putting it into the index universal life that we talked about yesterday, what happens if you put that money in real estate? Because no matter what anybody wants to tell you, no matter what they say, I will put the numbers
Are you
up
earning a
against
safe,
anyone.
secure 10+%
The
return
best
on your
investment
investments?
you can
Is
come
your
up with.
credit
Yes, I
score
was
over
licensed at
800?
Merrill
Are you
Lynch. I had
living
the
in the
Series
home of your dreams
766,
or simply where you think
insurance,
you
all
can
that
afford? If the
garbage.
answer to any of
Doesn't
these
mean I know
questions is no. What are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron
discussing your
Siegel
real estate current
Radio
events
will
and the
reach out
financial
to you
markets.
to
When we come
develop
back,
a success
tips for
strategy
making your real estate
you.
offer on a
Again,
home. We're going to talk about it.
Text
What's the
ATP
one
to
word that makes real estate
79564.
better than any other investment out there? We'll talk about that. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast,
and it's free from
Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you like many of
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at RonIsMyLender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. RonIsMyLender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit RonSiegelRadio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message. And I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs, the products. You just need to make a call, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. How about zero down payment for almost anybody? Really? 600 FICO score and above? 600 is a pretty low FICO score. Geneva's got the program. You just, again, make the call, 800-306-1990. Every day at this time, though, AOB MMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual lock rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. What did the loans lock at yesterday? Again, I don't know the APRs. I don't know how many points were paid or received. They just tell us what the loans were locked at OBMMI. 10-year conforming locked at 6.845. That was up a bit. 30-year jumbos locked at 6.799. That was up a bit. The FHA loans locked at 6.618. That was up just a little bit. The USDA loans in the rural areas, generally no down payment, 6.65. That was down a touch. And the best loan on the market for those that earned it, that would be the 30-year VA loan. It was up just a touch at 6.478. All that information, as well as the S&P being, let's see, this S&P number doesn't look right to me, so I'm not going to even report it. 10-year Treasury down 1 basis point. Mortgage-backed securities are up 16 basis points. Let's go over here and see if that number is, well, it is correct. The S&P is down 2.06 right now. Again, all those numbers are available on that super secret website. Yes, that would be google.com. But why is it happening? That's not on the super secret website. That's why you listen to Ron Siegel Radio. Well, we talk about these numbers all the time. We get the ADP report. We told you that one had 242,000 jobs created in February versus the 205,000 expected. The JOLTS report, came out yesterday late after we did our program. That's job openings and labor turnover. There were 10.8 million job openings in January, above expectations, but down 410,000 from the peak in December. Leisure and hospitality is leading the way on that one. We got initial jobless easy for me to say. Initial jobless claims, 211,000 came out this morning. The 4-week average is 194,000. We're watching that one. CoreLogic, their equity report, 63% of homes have a mortgage. 37% are, wow, that's good math for CoreLogic. 37% are free and clear. So if you don't have a mortgage, you're free and clear, right? That means that 37% of the people can move and not feel like they're giving up a low mortgage. That's the issue right there. Equity has risen 3.7% in the fourth quarter versus last year, while 1.4% of the homes have negative equity. 1.4% have negative equity. That's a big comment right there, because I was on the call yesterday with somebody that told me that real estate values are going to drop, or that we're going to go into another crash. We're going to have more short sales. We're going to have more foreclosures. It's going to be abundant. And I said, well, wait. Why would there be abundance if people have equity in their properties? I don't get it. I don't agree. But hey, that's what makes horse racing, as long as we're respectful. I like having people that have differing opinions than me. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make a call. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. So let's chat and see. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. Kim Jarrard is with us from RE/MAX. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So your thoughts, are the real estate values going to drop?
I don't feel that real estate values are going to drop anymore. I feel that we had a small, maybe 10% decrease in values with a small correction with the interest rates going up. But I personally don't feel that the values are going to continue to go down.
Do you see a lot of people with first off, what markets are you covering mostly?
Mostly the Inland Empire and high desert areas.
Inland. Okay, so I'm a simple guy. Where's the high desert?
That is Oak Hills, where those USDA loans exist.
Okay.
Apple Valley, Victorville, Hesperia, Rancho Cucamonga, Fontana, Rialto, North
Okay.
Carolina. Yeah.
I always confuse the high desert. I mean,
With the low desert.
What's Palm Springs and Palm Desert?
That's the low desert.
The low desert. Okay, so it shows what I know, right? So in your market, is there a lot of equity?
Yes, most of my clients have a lot of equity. I work with a lot of new construction, new spec homes and builders. So we have quite a bit of that still. Well, it's the only place left in California that has a lot of land left.
Right.
So,
So you're doing a lot of new construction out
yes,
there.
probably I'll sell maybe 70 to 80 a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Just on the new construction side.
So are you representing the builder, or are you taking clients in or families into those projects?
So right now I have quite a few clients that are actually purchasing land and building custom homes. And so they either buy the land. I mean, I have land lenders, I have construction loan lenders. So I do a lot of that and help them kind of, put all the pieces together. And I work with builders also who buy and sell the properties.
Now, the National Association of Home Builders came out, I think, a week ago Monday, and said 60% of their 60% of the builders are giving concessions to keep values up. Are you seeing that as well?
So I see that some of my new, like a house that was, 650,000 might be 600,000 now. So rather than giving concessions, we're just coming into more of a realistic price point.
Okay.
And moving the homes that way. You see some people who come in and gouge, but my sellers usually aren't in a position where they have to sell it. So if we don't like the offer, we'll just simply tell them no.
Go on to the next one.
Yep, that's right.
So what would be a catalyst? I mean, and being that you and I seem to be on the same page with this, what would be a catalyst for a lot of defaults and foreclosures if people have a lot of equity?
So I feel that there's always going to be foreclosures and short sales, just a couple here and there. The only thing that I can think of why somebody would do that is if they've either cashed out on their mortgage intentionally and took all the money and they don't want to pay it anymore.
Okay.
I've seen that once this year, or, maybe job loss or probates, things like that. But honestly, the equity in the homes that I'm finding where people are in financial trouble still have enough equity to where they could sell the home and make a profit.
So some of them that may go into some of the default statuses are simply from people just ignoring the fact that they could call you and say, Kim, I've got X amount of, I've got 30% equity, and they could capture some of that instead of letting it go to that default.
100%. Yeah. A lot of people don't even know how much equity they have.
And that's a big problem.
It is. Yeah.
Right. You got to make that phone call, right? Just call a professional real estate. So here's the issue. Now we'll talk about this in a second, but we give away our Home Scout product, rsrhomescout.com. And that'll tell you what the valuation is of property looking backwards. Right? You have to call a professional real estate agent to get the value going forward, because the algorithms only look at the historic, right? So it's going to give you on RSR Home Scout, it's going to give you 4 different valuations from different automated models. It's going to give you the one that's wrong from Zillow. I mean, we know that one. It's going to give you 3 others, including ones that the government-sponsored entities will let us use, right? But the bottom line is, that's history. That's the numbers we would use if we're doing refinancing a house. That doesn't give us the data that you need for a real estate professional. You're going to be able to help somebody say, okay, well, that says it's worth $200,000, but I know
Ron Siegel
being on the street and working, we can really get $225 for it.
Right.
Your
That's
home
coming
and
from
mortgage
No, market value too.
connection.
If you have a house and it's average condition, if you have
Do you
something
know a
that's really
homeowner
attractive or what I
experiencing
call a
divorce?
sexy house, those
Do you know
always,
a
no
real
matter
estate
what, even in
reference
this
and
market,
the
will sell
divorce
them.
decree could cost
If
tens of
it's marketed
thousands of
properly.
Correct.
A certified
Right?
divorce
It
mortgage
can't
planning
be
and
the-
real estate report
the
could
Joe
save you
like me that
thousands
goes
of
in and takes
dollars,
a picture
and
of
it's
the
free
corner.
from your local certified
cell phone
divorce
pictures.
lending
No
No cell phone
professional.
pictures.
Reach
And
out to
I'm
Ron
sure you've got
today.
stories about that.
RonIsMyLender.com.
Pictures of a
Again,
bed with clothing on it.
RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under
Next monthly
NMLS
decorator.
Yes, again,
217037.
professional
Equal housing
realtors
lender.
understand what they need in these pictures to get rid of.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money?
So
The
before
Siegel
the
Lending
break, we
Team
were
is here to
talking- I was
help
talking
veterans
about the idea
refinance and
of
get the money they
chatting
need. The
from an
VA
investment
100 lets you
standpoint on
borrow
real
up to
estate.
100%
And we
of your
talked
home's
during the
value,
break about
refinance
this.
your mortgages,
My word,
consolidate
the
credit
reason that
cards,
you-
and lower your payments by
saying
an
that
average
the
of
markets
$700 a
can't
month.
do that.
And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than
You
a
know,
credit
if
score.
you're buying a
Call
real estate
800-306-1990.
goes up,
That's
so I'm just gonna see if I can get the number real quick. If real estate
800-306-1990.
goes
Rate
up
subject to change without notice.
and
Licensed by the California Department of Corporations,
Kevin
NMLS
said so,
21037 and DRE number 018694552.
Are you
A
earning a
populated
safe, secure 10+%
192,344 is my
return on
primary
your
location.
investments? Is your
Okay,
credit
let's see if I
score
can put that
over
in here.
800? Are you living in the
92334?
home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these
92334.
questions is no, what are you doing
I know, I'm
about
a
it?
slow- I'm-
Text
okay, so that's
ATP to
Hesperia.
79564. Complete a
Okay,
3-minute complimentary
so I
survey,
look
and
at
the area trusted
Hesperia,
professionals of Ron Siegel
and
Radio will reach out to
said,
you
this
to
is the
develop
wrong
a
report for
success
us, but it tells
strategy
me,
for you. Again,
average
all
days
you
on the
need
market,
to do is
104,
text
median days
ATP to
91. Properties are taking
79564.
33% of them are taking a price decrease. That sound about right to
Paying
you?
off someone else's
It
mortgage?
depends.
Okay.
It's Ron
Yeah,
Siegel here
I
to
would
help
say
you
over the
stop
last year
renting and
we've
start
had like
owning
a
your dream
admittedly,
home with
maybe a
amazing low
10%
interest
decrease.
rates.
Okay.
And you could
So
potentially
one of the things that I
qualify
look
for
at
a
on these
$500,000
areas, and what I really
home for
wanted
less
to
than
get, and I went to the wrong service,
$5,000
so
out of pocket.
I'm going to go to the
So
correct
stop
service
renting.
now.
Start owning
Is
with Ron
what
Siegel.
is
Learn
the
more at
what is the real estate
ronsiegelradio.com and
doing
start owning
as
today.
far as
Licensed under
growth
NMLS
over longer periods of time? Because when they talk about investing,
Are you like many
got
of
two
your
different
neighbors
areas. You
trying
got
to figure
investing
out
and
how
you
to
got
pay off your
trading.
debts so you could retire
Real estate's
someday?
not really
Build
conducive
bigger
to trading.
savings.
Right.
Invest
there
in
are some people
opportunities.
that do the trading.
Visit rsrnodebt.com.
But the bottom line is most
debt
people
will
are
destroy
investing in the
50% of
difference being
Americans
that they
from
find
being
it.
able to retire earlier.
Right, so
and
I'm looking
with more.
at
What if you could have a guaranteed program
San
that could show you
Bernardino
how to
County,
eliminate
California,
all of your debt
63-year
in 10 years or less,
of
all without
appreciation
having
is
to spend
4.78%.
more each month than you spend right now?
Let's just call it 5%.
Yes,
It's
that's
easy.
correct. All
Right,
without
so, well, we
spending
can do
more from your
4.78
checkbook
because
each month
if
than
we
you
have
are
that,
today.
we're using
Get your free
the market,
analysis
the
today
Dow.
to see if you
Right, so
qualify.
say it goes up 8
Visit
or 9 or 10%
rsrnodebt.com.
One of those, it doesn't
Log
matter. One
on
of those
today
numbers
for
probably
your
gonna be
free
fairly
analysis.
close.
rsrnodebt.com.
And in San Bernardino,
No
when I put
purchase
in that zip
necessary.
code,
The free
it comes
analysis
out at
takes only 2
4.78.
minutes.
5-year is 7.52.
rsrnodebt.com.
But
Ron Siegel Radio is your
the
home
vast
and
majority of
mortgage
people we just
connection.
said there,
Go to
63% have a mortgage.
rsrnodebt.com.
If you put 10% down, that means
rsrnodebt.com.
in San Bernardino, you're getting 47.8% return on your capital.
Financial control after retirement with
I want to hear which one of these financial gurus are getting that kind of return.
Use it to your advantage.
Right, you're helping people get that all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that buying real estate is the best investment you can make.
With
for
no
sure.
obligation.
Now, you brought up another
all
topic
your
on there
questions, and the best
that it
part
beats
is
inflation. Talk
you
about that one a
still
little
own
bit.
your home.
Well, you
Call
know,
Ron
I've
Siegel
heard
at
the analogy that if you have your money sitting in a bank account and it's
or
like
visit
having your money, a water in a bucket, and it's
Are you
full,
paying rent
and the
because you
bottom of the
cannot
bucket
afford
is
to live
just
in your
slowly
dream home?
draining
Are you
out.
paying
And,
rent because you don't believe you
buying
have the
real
down
estate is the
payment
only
funds
thing
to
that's gonna
purchase your
offset
own
the
home?
cost of
At Siegel
inflation.
Lending Team at
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, right?
RonIsMyLender.com has
Because,
up to
you know,
$25,000
is a
to
long
help
time.
qualified people
Right,
purchase
so
their own
you
home
can
at
say, okay,
amazing
now
interest
we can't
rates.
guarantee
Contact the
it's gonna go
Siegel
up
Lending Team today at
4.78% this year, next
RonIsMyLender.com.
year, the year
Again,
after.
RonIsMyLender.com.
It is a good idea that
Licensed
it's
under
gonna go up because you've been
NMLS
doing it for so long.
217037. RonIsMyLender.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's
So a
Ron.
house in Rancho Cucamonga you could have picked up for $250,000. That same house now is $700,000-800,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So in the malls there. So I believe that everything will continue to move north. And I'm seeing that now with large development pieces, 160 acres and all of the land being picked up and a lot of growth taking place now in my area. So
That's a pretty 20 years to have it triple.
yeah. So that's why I was saying some of those numbers in different areas could be different.
Sure. Yeah, and this is just a big snapshot of a lot. This one here is forecasting 1.89% going forward for the next 12 months, but 20.92 over the next 5 years.
Yeah.
So you're still looking at a lot of investment opportunity right there.
I couldn't agree more.
So we're gonna continue this conversation. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. 4 tips for making your best offer on a home. I'm going to go over the report. Then we're going to talk to the pro. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I'm sitting there trying to figure out what this black is on my desk. It's a pad for my earphones. Maybe I do need those earphones you were just talking about. The conversations we have during the breaks. Real-time real estate segment being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. Yes, you can go there and create your account. There is no obligation. We're not going to market to you. We're not going to sell your information. This isn't Lending Tree. And you just go right on there and you get a monthly update as to what the value of your property is. We love sending that out to people. And it's also got about 97% of the homes for sale in America, the entire country, are listed on there. So you can do your own home shopping right there. Don't try and do it on your own. Everyone starts their shopping online, but then you need a professional realtor to get you to the end zone. That's the bottom line of it. 4 tips for making your best offer on a home. Planning on buying a home this spring? Though things are more balanced than they were at the height of the pandemic, it's still a seller's market in most areas. So when you find the home you want to buy, remember these 4 tips to make your best offer. Number 1, yes, I am a honk on this one. Lean on a real estate professional. I have a license, and like many people with a license, I am not qualified to do real estate or to write a transaction. Yes, that would probably mean your best friend's dog watcher's brother probably is not qualified to do it either. Call me. I'll put you in touch with people who are. Rely on an agent who can support your goals. As Bankrate notes, quote, select the best real estate agent for your needs. They will be a critical part of your home buying process, unquote. Agents are local market experts. They know what's worked for other buyers in your area and what sellers may be looking for in an offer. It may seem simple, but catering to what a seller needs can help your offer stand out. Number 2, know your budget. Understanding your budget is especially important right now. As Sandy Higgins, Senior Wealth Advisor at Capstone Financial, puts it, quote, understand your current budget. What are your expenses? How's your spending? Would you need to make changes? Unquote. The best way to understand your numbers is to work with a lender so you can get pre-underwritten, not only pre-approved, but pre-underwritten. Talk to our team at Geneva Financial to help with that. Helps you be more financially confident and shows sellers you're serious. That can give you a competitive edge. There is a new box on the residential purchase agreement. I used to know it was box J4 until they changed the agreement. Now I don't even know what box it is. That says you've been pre-underwritten. So you're writing an offer basically the same as cash. Number 3, think through everything before you make an offer. Today's market isn't moving at the record pace it did during the pandemic. That means you may have a bit more time to think before you need to make an offer. According to Danielle Hale, chief economist at Realtor.com, quote, in general, you'll likely have more time to make an offer, although that's certainly not a guarantee. If you're on the fence about a home or its asking price doesn't quite fit your budget, you might want to keep an eye on it. And if it doesn't sell right away, you may have some room to negotiate with the seller, unquote. While it's still important to stay on top of the market and be prepared to move quickly, there can be more flexibility today. Again, lean on the advice of your agent as you explore the options in your market. Number 4, work with your advisor to negotiate. You can't do that online. During the pandemic, some buyers skipped home inspections or didn't ask for concessions from the seller in order to submit the winning bid on a home. Fortunately, today's market is different. And when you have more negotiating power than before, when putting together an offer, your trusted real estate advisor will help you think through the levers to pull. Remember, rsrbuydown.com, rsrbuydown.com. 5 ways to reduce your payment, 2 of which are temporary, 3 of which help your purchasing power. rsrbuydown.com. Bottom line, when you buy a home this spring, give me a call at 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch with a great real estate professional in your area, and we'll work on budgeting so you can see. You don't want to be home poor, mortgage poor. You don't want to have to go to work every day thinking that I don't get to go to the movies or out to dinner with my spouse because I have to go and pay my mortgage this month and I have nothing left over. That's part of budgeting. That's the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. Continuing our conversation this morning, Kim Jarrard with RE/MAX is with us. Welcome.
Thank you.
So I think one of the words that I used in there probably a dozen times, I think might be a word that you're familiar with. Professionalism.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, right now, is it more important in a buyer's market, seller's market, neutral market to be dealing with a professional instead of your best friend's dog catchers?
Your aunt's sisters, grandma. Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely. I think that no matter what kind of market it is, the first thing you need to establish is a professional a realtor. You definitely have to have somebody who understands the industry, not just when the market's hot and everybody wants to get in it for a financial gain.
So one of the houses I bought, I shouldn't say this, but it was back in, I think, 1979, 1978, something like that. 89. Thank goodness. It wasn't that decade. 89. Right. I bought the house. The market was real hot. And as soon as I bought the house, I put a for sale by owner sign in the window and sold it 3 months later for like a $30,000 or $40,000 gain.
Wow.
And I didn't use a realtor.
Right.
You know, back then I was young, so I knew the answer to everything. Just ask me. Right. And I get to the end of the year and my accountant says, that was really good that you did that. Did you know that you're now in set for capital gains? If I talked to a realtor, I probably wouldn't have. I would have known that answer, right?
Yeah, you could have done a 1031 exchange or some sort of investment for sure. Well, if it was your primary. Anyways, you mentioned panic buying, right? So back when the market was hot, that's true. Right now, I think that buyers are able to take a little bit more time.
Okay.
And it's not panic buying. They don't have to panic buy. They can take some time, actually get the house they love, and not just try to buy something to get into a home.
That's a big part of it. I mean, because you probably went through a lot of that.
Right.
Trying to figure out ways that you could get somebody to get the property they wanted and beat the other 75 people that were also putting in offers.
Right. Yeah. One listing, 28, 48 offers. It was insane.
Are you seeing that now?
No. Now I'm seeing, peaks and valleys. It's, 4 offers in a couple of days and then nothing for a couple of weeks. So
do you see the multiple offers? Is that strategic? What I mean by that is, did the agent that listed the property, or if it's your own listing, are you listing them? Are they being priced below market to generate that excitement? Or is it just because there's so many people out there that are looking and are maybe finally coming back into the market?
So me as a listing agent, what I always encourage my sellers to do is to list at least fair market value, not necessarily below. If you do list below market value, we'll strategically get way more buyers on that property. It's just like an auction property. People see it down low and then they bid on it. It ends up selling for 30% more than what it's actually worth. It can, yeah.
So they start low and it gets 30% more than what it's worth.
Right. Yeah. On auction properties. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a strategic. Yeah. So if you are brave enough to list your home below market value and hope that you will get, multiple offers, that's definitely a way to do it.
Have you come across that much?
What, listing below?
No, the auctions.
Yeah, absolutely. Several.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a few right now. I have some clients, everybody is looking for that deal or that next great investment. So there are some auction properties and some auction sites. Absolutely.
Okay. The reason I ask that is we've had a gentleman, Simon Polito, comes on the program, and that's his whole business model is auctions, but non-distressed luxury listing. And, basically he calls anything a luxury listing.
Yeah.
Right. Because to the buyer, it is a luxury.
Right.
Right. $300,000 is a luxury to somebody, and $3 million is luxury to somebody else.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah. So and that's their whole focus is getting that competition.
Mm-hmm.
And the fear of loss.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting watching how those go.
That's a market strategy for sure.
Is it beneficial? Do you think why don't we see more of it? I mean, if you're going to get 30% more, to me, that sounds like, wow, why isn't everybody doing it?
Well, I think it's the delivery. So I think if you have an agent who really understands the market, knows what they're doing, then when you have that conversation with your client, that's definitely something. That's literally what I sit down and say is, if you go here, and I have a little diagram, it has all the little stick figures, you're going to get way more buyers. If you go here, you're going to get average. But I think a lot of agents now are just trying to get the listing. So they're over promising and under delivering on the value. So then you're going to see a house that's overpriced sitting on the market because the agent was just, trying to get the deal.
That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
Right?
That's professional.
Yeah, exactly. And so I wonder about that I guess that's a strategy to say, okay, I'll list at any price,
Mm-hmm.
and then go back and beg for forgiveness.
Right. Well, I don't know that the agent just wants to get the listing. And then once the client's locked in on the contract, the client could get upset and doesn't really understand. And everybody wants more money for their house,
Sure.
right? So of course they're going to sign. Usually I've gotten listings where I go and I'm not the one who has the highest value, but I've gotten the listing just because, of the delivery of the information.
I would say, is it the delivery of the information, or is it because of the relationship and a track record?
Well, definitely I try to demonstrate the track record and explain that to them. But some of these people are brand new clients. I've never even met them.
Interesting. Because, I would say if I was a first time, I haven't sold my house in 15 years, and I've got two different agents that come in, and one says I can get 400 and one says I can get 450.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at it and say, okay, what's wrong with me? Why wouldn't I go with the 450?
Well, the proof is in the pudding. I got the documentation. I show the stats. I got the accurate
Okay.
information. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the whole idea right there, is you need to show, okay, how many people are going to be put out of the market?
Right.
Right. I mean, we've done some of the things from my friends over at Keeping Current Matters, and they basically show that if you listed it 10% over value, you're going to get, maybe 10% of the market's going to see the property.
Right. Fair market value is statistically about 50 to 60% of the buyers that are looking in that area or for that home will come and look at that property.
Why do you think that would be? That it's because it's starting online?
Yeah, everybody knows. Yeah, I mean, there's so many numbers out there, right? Zillow gives you that estimate, right? Everybody has calculators at their fingertips. So if something's overpriced, it sits there, and then the longer it sits, nobody's going to look at it either. So that brings up
that's a whole nother subject. And then people start saying, what's wrong with this property? What's wrong with this?
100%.
So got to price properly, and properly means getting the great advice, professionals. Mm-hmm. And understanding what strategy you're using,
right?
Because your strategy could be, I just want to get the most money, and I don't have a time frame,
mm-hmm.
or I don't want to have a museum. I want to have my house put up on the market and sell it and maximize. So I might go a little lower and get a bidding war going,
right? Or fair market value. I'm a big, strong believer in fair market value.
Okay, fair market value. So you gotta. So the whole idea though is basically getting the right guidance.
Right. If I have a client that wants me to list significantly over what I feel the home is worth, and I know that I can't sell it, I'll actually refuse the listing because I don't want to be stuck in a situation where it's my fault that house isn't selling. This is a big deal to me that I do a great job for my clients, and service is huge, right?
Wow, ethics.
Right? So yeah, unfortunately, I'd have to refuse the listing because I know I wouldn't be able to do it.
That's important, right? I mean, if you want to go with 450, yes, please go to Mr. Jones, mm-hmm. because when you're upset, you're not going to be upset with me.
Right.
Oftentimes it's funny. I have a transaction right now where I suggested a 630 list price, and they went with some investor, listed it for 700, sat there. I just got a cash offer accepted for, I'm representing the buyer. I didn't take the seller, for 560,000.
560.
Yeah. And if I would have listed it, I would have got him the 630.
Yeah. And that's so, and we've seen that, in over time, many times, is that we watch the market go all the way down.
Yeah. But he just let the house sit there for over a year, and now nobody's looking at it, right? Because he overpriced it initially.
Sure. We're going to talk more about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. More with Kim Jarrard when we come back. You can reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at RonIsMyLender.com. That's RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@RonSiegelRadio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. This segment being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report, and it is wrong. Why would I say that? Well, because I've been looking at credit reports for decades. First family I helped get a home loan was in 1983. Yes, I know some of you are not born then. But the bottom line is I've never, ever seen a credit report that's completely accurate. Best score I've ever seen was 834. And on a FICO mortgage score, 850 is perfect. So 834 was the best. And that had errors on it. In fact, funny story is a gentleman called me and said, "Hey, Ron, why is my score not better than that?" And I said, "Sir," I was friends with him for a long time. So he was getting a 30-year mortgage. He was 91 years old, getting a house for one of his grandkids. And I said, "You know what the likelihood is of you paying off this mortgage, 91 years old on a 30-year mortgage?" I said, "That's probably why they don't have you perfect. They say it's probably someone else is going to have to pay this off." But that's CreditSanitizer.com. They've got the solutions for you. Continuing our conversation, we're chatting about real estate. And we're talking Inland Empire, and in generalities, we're talking professionalism. We're chatting with Kim Jarrard. Remax is with us this morning. And been talking about, where the market's going. How do you get an offer accepted? So, Kim, you do a lot of the listing side.
Yes.
As a listing agent, what are you looking for to attract you to a great offer?
A great offer. Besides all the marketing,
Right.
are you talking about like the contracts that come in from the agents?
Yeah, the contacts that are coming into you that for you to submit to your sellers.
Yeah. So most of the offers now, and there's no problem with new agents, but the lack of knowledge, I would say, on the
You're
contract.
politically correct.
Yeah.
I can say it. New agents need mentors.
Yes. Oh, 100%. I kind of stress that enough. But the contracts that come in, they're incomplete. Like San Bernardino County, Riverside County, they don't have city transfer tax. They have county. So they always mark that box, or they don't know what retrofits. Basically just marking all these boxes, and you can just see that they have no idea. They don't even put who's representing who on the contract.
Wow.
So it just creates a lot of work for me, and that's fine. I can counter it out. But if they're that, incomplete in the beginning, how's the rest of the transaction going to go?
That's a good point, right?
Is the client, pre-approved and all of that. So.
And pre-approve is somebody that can actually get the deal done.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, because it's easy to get a pre-approval from somebody. The question is, did they really do their homework, or they just issue a pre-approval letter?
Right. Yeah. And I have to do cross quals on almost every single offer that comes over.
Explain what that is.
Cross qualification is just basically the lender that submitted the approval letter on the offer that came in. I have a lender that I know and trust, or lenders that I know and trust, and those lenders will talk to that lender and just double check the finances to ensure that that buyer is truly approved and they understand payment, interest rate, and everything.
Yeah, and that's a big issue.
Huge.
It's amazing how few contracts I see that come through that have that cross-qual requirement. Mm-hmm. Do you stick to it?
Yes, especially if I don't know the lender on the transaction, or if the offer comes in incomplete, missing, having a bunch of holes in it, if you will.
And so that's a good indication, apparently, to you that, are they experienced? Are they professional? Are they working with a firm that's really overseeing what's going on?
Right. Yes.
Right, because I've heard that so many times from agents that are experienced, that one of their biggest problems, challenges, is you get a contract, and whoever wrote the contract might have just finished kindergarten.
Right.
Right, and didn't get the mentoring,
the proper training. Yes.
And the fact of the matter is, and I can say this because I've got a real estate license. Again, I've 9 years and I've never used it because I'm not qualified. If I had to go and fill out those things you just talked about, I have no clue what the heck you're talking about.
The craziest thing to me is usually this is one's largest investment, and why these people trust these agents or other people that are inexperienced or don't know what they're doing is just mind blowing to me.
Right. I mean, think about the concept. And I just had this conversation with an agent on Tuesday that, you're actually doing a big favor to the buyer when you have it cross-qualified.
100. Yeah, I could.
Right?
Yes.
Because
absolutely.
it could be that they get to the 11th hour when all of their contingencies are removed and find out that they're not going to qualify. And now how much money have they lost in their deposits?
Right. Or they don't know what the property tax is and what the mortgage rate is, and they didn't know what that payment looked like. So, yeah.
Yeah. So the cross qualification, some people might say, well, that's a nuisance, but it really could be a big, big saver for a buyer that, for one reason or another, went with a team that wasn't in their best interest.
And it really isn't that big of a deal. It shouldn't take that long if the lender did their due diligence in the beginning and collected all the proper documentation. You get the buyer's permission to do the cross qualification. You send it over. I mean, you could have it done in less than 30, 40 minutes.
Right. It's leading a lending team. I understand it's pretty simple.
Right.
Right. I mean, because if as a lender, in a heartbeat, does the other guy or girl know what they're doing?
Right.
Right. Just like in the real estate transaction, you look at it and you can say, probably by the time you get to end of page one, whether you're dealing with a rookie or now in law, the lawyers all look at the license number. Do realtors do that?
I always do, just out of habit. Like, how long has this person been licensed for?
Right. So you can tell that by the license number.
Right. And I see offers come over, and like septic systems are really big where we're at. There's not a lot of sewer yet. Right. So I see people signing waivers in the beginning, and the buyers, that's not my responsibility I make them sign a waiver saying that they're not going to have it inspected or they don't know anything about it. But to me, if I'm representing a buyer, I'm not going to let them buy a house without having that inspection. What if that tank or something failed?
And ironically enough, we just had a deal blow up just recently, just because of that.
Yeah.
And people don't understand. Well, it can happen. You got a leaky septic tank.
Right.
Right. And who wants to pay for the replacement or repair?
Right. And if the agent that's coming in doesn't know anything about the area or the property or any, hasn't done their due diligence in writing the offer, I just make everybody sign the waivers. So
right. And that way and that, again, that goes to number one, disclosure, professionalism, protecting your client.
Always. Yep.
Right. A lot of different issues right there. And again, you need to have somebody that really understands what's going on in the transaction. And I'm going to suggest again, like I do always, get a professional. I'm going to ask you just real quick, because I know Josh already told me we're out of time.
Okay.
But what are the things that somebody needs to do to vet their realtor?
I would ask the questions, probably how many transactions they do a year. I would look at the company. I think if you just ask those questions, how long they've been working in the area. So I get a lot of agents that will bring in offers from lenders that are outside of California. So then I have to go find out if that lender's even familiar with doing loans in California. So things like that. But there's quite a few questions. So
a lot of questions. Make sure you're dealing with a professional.
Always.
Right. And, look at the lower numbers on the lower number on the license is going to be a big indication that they've been around, but it does not tell you they are professional, right? Ask how many transactions. If you're looking for a listing, how many days on the market do you average? Are you price reductions? Are you doing, as Kim said, are you getting somebody that's just blowing smoke with the pricing, or are they giving you a legitimate value? Why? What's the competition? All things you need to know. And if you have any questions about it, feel free to give me a call. I know the questions. Again, don't ask me to write a contract. I wouldn't even try, but I would tell you, you can talk to somebody like Kim if you're in the Inland Empire, which I know you're listening out there, Inland Empire. So give me a call at 800-306-1990. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean, who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Over the limit, I'd like to call him something